Hey, it's Arvin from the Knock. Check out my episode below and be able to listen to that to wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be YouTube, your Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts. And yeah, check it out.
Right on, man. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. Today, I have a very special guest. Mr. Arvin Garcia is in the building. How you doing, Arvin?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Been on a little spring break, so I go back to work on Saturday, and I'm just like trying to enjoy the last couple days. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. For the folks out there who don't know the flow of the show, we have some warm-up questions, but before that we do an icebreaker, which is a one-word spelling bee. I don't know if you want to flex the skills, or if you can pass if you'd like, so no worries. And then after that we jump into the main meat of the podcast, where you choose a number between 1 and 34. I don't know if you've seen it, because you said you were just looking at the document, but there's 3 levels to the questions. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, there's 3 levels, easy, medium, hard, and we'll get the conversation rolling like that. Sound good to you, Arvin?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. So my first question for you is, how have you been? You've been doing well. You've been going through it. How you been, Arvin?
Yeah, dude. It's kind of hard. I mean, we're almost at like the end of this pandemic and stuff. I know mental health has been like a big issue, like lacking social, like just being around like people and stuff. I'm definitely one of those people, but it's getting better, a lot of self-reflection and stuff. So, yeah. For
sure, man. For sure. I mean, yeah. Do you think the end is near, or is it, how soon do you think it'll be?
Like talking to like my more like friends who are in the medical field, I mean, a lot of them say it's like not until like next year, like mostly till like it's fully back to normal. Like, I mean, by fall, like we'll have like masks and stuff. And I don't know if you've seen like there's like music festivals happening in the fall too.
I was gonna ask you that, because they seem like they're ready. They're selling tickets, man, and people are getting hyped. Everyone's asking me, "Are you going to this? Are you going to that?" And I'm like, "Damn, I didn't even know it was like that already."
Dude, yeah, like I still have a ticket to Outside Lands right now, actually.
Nice.
Kind of like it's about that, but I mean, we'll see. Like, like if they think it's comfortable. I mean, I'm fully vaxxed right now, so I'm kind of like chill, and I don't have to worry about my family too much because most of them are vaxxed. So
I got you. Yeah. What's up?
No, but I know like a lot of other people like right now, like don't have that like luxury too. So I'm trying to respect that.
Dude, I just got my first one this week. Yeah. It took me a long time, and I think I believe I signed up on the day that I could, because every time I checked, it was like, oh, you don't qualify, no appointments. And then all of a sudden, it's like, come whenever you want down to Oakland Coliseum, and that's where I had to drive over there to get vaccinated. But
yeah, dude, it's wherever you can get it to. I had an uncle who had to drive out to like Linktr.ee to like get it. I don't think about Linktr.ee, so yeah.
I didn't know you could just do that. So some people were telling me you could just show up, and sometimes it, like, depending who you're working with, they could be, they don't want to turn you away. You out there getting the vaccine, so
yeah, that's like it's kind of weird system right now. Like I heard it's like, sometimes it's more of like not what you do, but who you know. Which I'm like, come on, it's a vaccine, But it's the reality of it sometimes, because it's like whoever got the access to knowledge and stuff. So
yeah, no, I feel that. So my second question. Oh, actually, before we jump into more questions, we gotta do the spelling bee. Are you down, or you want to pass?
I can. Let me see. I feel like I've gotten progressively worse after college. So, but I want to test it out. So.
All right. So, I mean, you said you were in the medical field, or not?
No. I graduated in political science and ethnic studies. So I did like a lot of like, I did a lot. Like I was interning with the office of Seligman Rob Bonta during college, and like, yeah, who's now Attorney General, which is, you know,
I saw that.
Filipinos, and then also I used to actually just finish the role of being a community organizer too, so I'm doing more creative stuff at this point. So
dope. Well, I asked because I thought you had mentioned it, because this word is like from the medical field.
I'm on for sure not getting this. I'll still go.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But the word is epilepsy.
Oh, I already got it wrong. Epipsy. Yes. Right.
You got it. Congrats, man.
Not wrong.
You're probably gonna be the last person I use this word with, and because too many people have gotten it right. I don't think it's challenging enough. I'm gonna go with a little. Do you think you could spell esophagus? Because that was gonna be the next choice.
Oh.
You don't need to. I was just wondering if you felt like you could, but.
Nah, if I get it wrong, I'm shame. I'm sorry, Mom. Again.
Yeah. No, take the win.
All right. Let's go. S. I'm gonna sound it out. OPHAGUS.
Say that one more time. I had to look it up just to be sure.
ESOPHAGUS.
You're right.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. You make them all proud right now.
You hear them all? I got it.
For sure. Well, thank you for participating. This means, since you got it right, that you'll get invited. I don't know if you can make it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it, but I want to do a spelling bee with the folks that got their word right on the show. So we'll see if that works out down in the future. But yeah. So
my cat's like, barking. This is the struggle of doing stuff at home. Okay.
Cat dad for sure. What's your cat's name?
Her name is Wesker.
Wesker?
Like Albert Wesker from Resident Evil.
Oh, for sure. I was like, from where? I was like, that sounds hella unique, honestly.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of people like from the top will think, oh, it rhymes with whisker. I'm like, nah. That's not why.
That's far from it. For sure. So yeah, now we're on to the warm-up questions. The first question in this block is, what would you like the audience to know about you?
Dang. I don't know. I think that's an easy, hard question because I can go in so many directions with that.
Yeah.
Man, I am. What am I? Like many words, multifaceted. I think that's a good word.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, keep it at that. Keep it simple.
All right. No worries. Multifaceted. My second question for you is, if someone were to pay you a tribute, how would you like to be honored?
I always think about this too. This is one of the things I've been reflecting in like the pandemic too. Like, because I feel like everyone at this point too might know someone at least that knows someone that has passed away. Especially from COVID or whatever. Got me thinking like, what would I want people to do if I were to die? Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
But I don't know. I would want people to all right, this is gonna be on record too.
Yeah, it is.
But I want people to take a shot at my funeral, just because it's I feel like I don't have to worry about all the stresses of being alive, like taxes and the future and everything that life brings. I mean, there's joys with life too, but there's also a lot of pain, and it's not we don't know what's gonna happen after we die, for sure. but
Yeah.
I would want the people who are still there, like in my memory, to kind of like rejoice, because at funerals, like we connect with family members, friends we haven't seen in a long time too. So I would rather think of it as like a turn up for people to celebrate my life by like connecting with each other. And like if people like have beef with each other, like that's the place to like squash it, because life is short.
Yeah. No, I got you. I mean, that's a great way to honor somebody, is squashing the beef. Hell yeah. I feel you. Yeah, I mean, I think about that too, like how to make that occasion more joyous than it is like gloomy, because like I guess I'm putting it on record for myself as well. It's just like don't I don't want to be buried. I guess I would be cremated. I'm getting too much into it. But basically I want it to be joyous as well.
Dude, like I think I'd be cremated too. I think that's cheaper, right?
It is cheaper, and I got this idea of like my ashes being tossed in places that I came from, and it's like just put me back in the earth in that way. But we'll see.
I agree with that. Like like cycles of life and all that.
Yeah,
ancestors. I mean, eventually, like like in the coffin, like you rot, like eventually, so you might as well just like go into earth, like straight up, like
exactly. And like less material, it's it's an event that's not joyous, man. You bringing people to be like sad together, and for someone who's seen ones recently, it just made me really think about it. Like, wow, like we coming together, and I wish we had came together like this for like a birthday, to try to lighten the tone. On a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
Oh, man, this is like some days it's a 1, some days it's a 10. It's like I feel like actually I'll say a 7, because to an extent that I do know myself, but like at the same time, like I think throughout life is like when you put into different situations, you learn how you react to things in different ways you may not have known before. So I feel like you just never know sometimes, but at the same time there's also a lot of personal, like having that self, like internal locus of control as well, of like knowing who you are and holding those beliefs like to you.
No, I feel you, man. I don't know if you've ever seen the previous episodes, but normally for me, I say a 5 for the same exact reason. Like, at my highest of highs, I feel like I know myself the most. On my lowest of lows, I feel like I don't know myself at all. And those moments kind of fluctuate throughout life depending on what stage I'm in and what's happening at the time. But it goes up and down.
I feel that it's that's kind of the beauty of life too, like, because I mean, if we knew everything, then what's the point,
And we'll definitely, I think we'll get into that during the interview, because there's a lot of questions that kind of deal with balance. But we made it to the main portion of the interview. Feel free to choose a level and a number. You could go all easy, all medium, mix it up. So it's up to you.
I'm gonna do like a small, medium, large.
Okay, I got you. It only makes sense,
like a hot ones.
Okay. Go for it, man. Number between 1 and 34.
For the first question, I'll do let's do 10.
10.
Yeah.
What does a perfect day look like for you? And I mean, what's the perfect morning look like? A perfect afternoon and a perfect evening,
Mm-hmm. I feel like waking up like at a good time, like kind of early, and just like feeling the love of like like I feel like I could be very hippie with this too.
Hey, be yourself.
Yeah. You just feel like it's like an indescribable feeling of just like of silence, of like meditation and stuff, and it's like you just feel like the day is gonna be good, and then throughout the day I'm just like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing honestly, but it's just more like the intentionality of like having a clear mind. Maybe I'm like with friends, with family, and just like having like really good communication with everyone, so there's no miscommunication and understanding each other's needs and wants and boundaries. So it's just like a good time like throughout the whole like experience of like being with them. And then just like, maybe having a good dinner at like a bougie spot or something to end the day. And
fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little just I like food. I think if my budget, like if I look at my budget, like food's probably like the worst one.
No, I mean, I think that's for a lot of people, man, because like what else are you spending money on? But I wanted to ask you, what is there a restaurant or a place that you would like put in that perfect night to end that, like one maybe you'd want to go to, or I have multiple. Like I just like basically like more like I thought of like, all right, the first one was like Hot Boys in Oakland. Okay.
Hot Boys. There's also one in Oakland. They get the bone marrow so far. Santang in San Francisco. They got the fire like chicken wings, like in the Bay. No cap. Big fat, but Santang for sure. Man, well, those are the first three I thought of. So,
the best wings in the Bay. That's high. That's high. I wonder what other people got to say about that.
That's a conversation.
I'm gonna cut that clip to post out. So that's gonna be some content to see what people say. But cool. And I was trying to think. There's another question. It was fleeting from my mind. My bad. Yeah. Before we jump into the next number, I actually have a couple curveballs. I don't know if you've seen that on the document either.
Yeah, I saw a little bit. Yeah. I'm very like conversational too.
Awesome. That's good. I mean, I can kind of tell with the flow. So this is a fill in the blank. And for you, fill in the blank. I'm too old to blank.
I'm too old. And what am I too old for? I'm too old to be drinking Captain Morgan.
Damn, Captain Morgan. I can't remember the last time I drank that. When's the last time you drank it?
Dude, I don't know. Probably like some party like in college. I don't know. Been a while.
Did you used to drink the college beer too? Like
oh yeah, the Bud Light, the Coors. I am too old. maybe once in a while, but for sure not Captain Morgan. That's off the plate for sure.
I mean, yeah. Well, Captain Morgan is the rum?
Yeah,
it's the rum. I can't even remember what it tastes like anymore because I'm trying to recall it, but it must have been, I think, a college party. But
yeah, I don't remember, and that's on purpose because it was a college party.
What's it called? What's your choice to drink now?
Man, I don't know. I got some like Johnny Walker or Jameson. That's usually my go-to. Black Barrel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker, Jameson.
Yeah, I used to be back in college like a Hennessy dude. It's alright.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I is it a thing to grow out of what Hennessy? You know, like for me, I think I could just taste the sugar more. I'm more of a tequila drinker now, but
that was the third alcohol I was drinking too, like tequila as well. It just hits. It hits different when you're older. I don't know.
It was my first shot ever. Was what's that? It's the Joseco.
Cuervo?
Yeah. Jose Cuervo was the first shots I took of tequila, and then now it just came back to me. But have you tried the Kirkland Dark Añejo tequila?
I believe so. I forgot how it tastes like though. I mean, tequila. I mean, I'm not gonna say tequila is all the same, but there's definitely a lot of different ones. But I don't remember.
I think that's a good sign, as long as it wasn't a bad experience, you know? Like, oh yeah, like you'll remember the ones that taste bad over the ones that was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, you for sure remember the ones like, the last thing I remember was taking a shot of that, and that's all I remember. That's a bad experience, but no, I just don't remember.
For sure. What's it called? Sorry, I forgot to mention that you're the co-founder of Anak Clothing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit of that. What's the story behind it?
Oh yeah. So I guess like my own journey with that too. Like I like pitched to my homie one time, like even before like the ideation of the brand, of like, hey, it'd be cool if like we had like, like it came from like the Travis Scott trend of like, like the rap vintage tees too, of like the old school 90s stuff, and like what if we put like Filipino figures on it too. And then like I was just like in the middle of like taking like a complex, it's like the complex streetwear essentials class that they're having right now, with Parsons School of Design and stuff. It's like a certificate course, and I found it very interesting, but also like a lot of stuff I could have like probably found on YouTube too. Not gonna lie, but it had a certificate, but that kind of like made me like, I'm gonna like start something just cause. So like the whole vision behind the Anak is just kind of like the nuances of like the Filipino experience in diaspora. So not very like in your face iconography of what it means to be Filipino, but more like, if you know that TikTok trend right now, like how do you say you're something without saying you're something? That's kind of the direction like I'm trying to go with it. And I kind of like take a lot of like inspiration from like Clot, Staple, who are also founded by like Asian, like trying to bridge like Asian identity in a more like tasteful and nuanced way, rather than, just like a lot of like in your face. So kind of like the Filipino version of that, but it's been kind of like wavering too. So I'm trying to like make the good balance of what I think of the brand and what also like the people want as well. So yeah,
I mean, that's tough. Speaking from personal experience, I've tried to start a brand as well. I call it a project because I don't think I'm business minded enough to call it a business.
It's hard.
Oh yeah. How long have you been at it?
I started in like fall. Like we kind of like had like the soft launch in September too. And
sure.
Yeah. Trying to just go up from here and see post-pandemic where we're gonna go.
What's your vision for it? Like, where do you want it to take you?
I think also like one of the other inspirations that made me start was like reading Bobby Hundred's "This Is Not a T-Shirt" too. That's a good read. But like, kind of like brought up the point of like, why does this shirt need to exist when there's so many other shirts right now too? Like the vision is it not just to like, grow as a brand, but be able to like, I guess tell our story in a way that's like more relatable to people who are like non-Filipino too, in a more communal sense as well. So it's like how people will wear like Staple or like Clot too, but also not necessarily like understand that's like kind of like the meaning behind it is like to bridge kind of like the East with West, to quote Clot on that, but be able to like connect through that culturally as well. So it's be able to tell our stories as Filipinos in diaspora, but also be able to like relate that to like everyone else, So kind of be that bridge.
You mentioned diaspora. Was that the term?
Yeah.
What's that mean again?
It's like, I mean, it comes from like, I'm a very history buff too. Like it comes from like, when like the Jewish people were like exiled from like Babylon and stuff, or because of Babylon, like no other people. And but it's kind of like talking about like when people are have to go away from like their home country or their like motherland and stuff, whether it be because of like political persecution, economic opportunity, or like necessity, in that fact, and going somewhere in the world to like basically not in their homeland anymore because of those reasons.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had another guest who had mentioned it, and then I wasn't sure. I was kind of like too ashamed to ask because I felt like I should have known. But yeah, so I had to ask now.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm very. I read the hip hop. It was like the Wu-Tang manual back in high school. I don't know if you read that, but it's a very like old school hip hop theory that really isn't probably any statistical fact behind it.
Okay.
Like even though it deals in percentages about like sharing knowledge, is like basically the theory is like 85% of people like might not know something, 10% of people or 5% of people do know something or do know the thing but don't share it, and 10% of people have like the opportunity to share with the 85% the knowledge that they need to like share. It's like an old school like hip hop theory and stuff, so I kind of like based my life around that growing up a little bit.
That's pretty dope. I haven't heard of the Wu-Tang manual, but I like that. I'm glad we got that on record so I could listen to it again. But
or is it manual or handbook?
Wu-Tang handbook manual. All right. I mean, that sounds dope. I can't believe I didn't come across that. But let's jump into the next question, next number. Go ahead, pick I guess medium now. Yeah, number between 1 and 34.
Let's go 3.
3. What do you think society should prioritize to fix in the world?
Oh, man. I'm very like into like that type of like how do we solve like the institutional problems that pervade society and stuff, because there's just so many.
Yeah, there is.
Like I don't know where to start. A lot of it deals with just like, well, okay, like I'm gonna say like a very like vanilla answer, but not vanilla at the same time. Like even though like there's so many like political theories of just like how to like solve the world and stuff, like I think at the core of it is just being able to love one another too. Very biblical, but at the same time too, like there's a lot of discord in the world, because people, whether they're holding some type of like hurt, which is valid, or like pain, I think if we're able to like come to like eventual like societal like consensus to just be able to love one each other more radically than ever before, that like would be the first step to like solving like the inequities. Like I say that you brought like a political science scholar.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Go for it.
Yeah, it's like I feel like if you've heard of like restorative justice and radical love and all that stuff, being able to offer forgiveness and people to learn the rights or to wrong their rights, but also hold them accountable at the same time. I think we'd be a much better society when we continue to love each other, but also be radical in it. So it could be a tough love. It could be like, oh, I got you, bro, and stuff. Yeah, there's like a saying, when everyone loves, everyone heals.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean that's what I believe,
No.
At the core of it. And I can go into like, I could spend like hours like going into like deeper like political theory, but I think at the basis of it, it's just being able to like understand each other and love our enemies, and understand them like a Studio Ghibli film. There's no bad guys. Like there's no villains by like the end of it. You just see where people come from.
Oh man, you're hyping it up for me because I don't think I've seen a Studio Ghibli film yet. So that's interesting. Yeah. Now I know what to expect. Like, just different perspectives. That's sick. I was gonna ask you. Well, we are gonna deep a little bit deeper into this question, and you were talking about, loving one another, like that we should prioritize that. Is it possible? Because I'm an optimist, and I want to believe everyone can realize how much better it would be if we did care about each other more so than trying to take advantage and whatnot. But I also know that there is that balance, right? Like, how can we have the good without the bad? Like, we have people who understand, people who don't understand. So is it possible? Or, are we always just going to be going back and forth? And I shouldn't try to push that, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I think there's a balance too. Because we're only able to love if we're receiving love. And it's a cycle thing too. It's definitely like, for example, like when you debate someone who just, when you just can't reach, you do have to take a step back and like, how can I love this person in a way that doesn't sacrifice my own love for them? It's like I know, especially with like Filipino families too, there's like a big problem, with like, creating boundaries with like your immigrant parents and stuff, because they just grew up in a different society and like all these structures, and like learning to like balance and create a relationship that works the best. Because a lot of Filipino parents, like will have like a lot of disagreements and like these different institutional ideas of like that are caused by like post-colonial psychology and stuff. I read a lot, kind of, so I'm gonna be going.
Yeah, go for it.
Feel free to like if you don't know like a word, because sometimes I'll be using like university, like, and I want to be like accessible when I like talk to you. But
okay, I'll let you know. But keep going. So, post-colonial psychology. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, like, like how our parents are like made to think like, or just like to live a certain way, like at the core of it, just so that it's like a very constrained way of like thinking, but it's not their fault, because it's like, colonization made them think of a certain way, and like that trauma like gets passed on from generation to generation and stuff. But yeah, it's just being able to like radically, this is where the radical parts comes into, because it's like, a lot of like, I feel like a lot of like self-help and like gurus will say, to cut off people who are being toxic to you. And I think to an extent that's right, but also to have that boundary of love. It's not really cutting off people, but you're just having love for yourself. That I can only love you from this distance, until we can like find a better way to love each other,
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, like, just having like setting boundaries, because it's like, you can still love someone, love your enemy and stuff, and they may not have the same mindset as you, but that's okay. People feelings are always validated and stuff, and we just gotta like be able to like continually like offer that love and support when we can.
I got you. My folks, they usually tell me it's the generation gap, at least they're aware of that. They admitted to me that the way our generation thinks versus the way theirs did is totally different, a lot different, especially being immigrants coming. I don't know when your parents came here, but my folks got here in the late 80s, early 90s, and so just being in a whole different world, different values, different ideas of what it means to live a good life too, right? So yeah, no, I feel you on that.
That's so real, like being able to I don't just recognize their experiences as like definitely immigrants as well. And yeah, like we said, the generational gap, that there's a lot, but I think it's important to like realize too, like we're progressing as society too. So like we'll always like see that even like when we grow up until like, I don't know, like our 50s, and we see like our grandchildren like thinking a certain way, where there's going to be a gap there where they're way more like progressive and how society has progressed and stuff, you know?
Yeah. So let me see. Oh man, forgot. Anyways, let me hit you with another curveball. And you know, this one is a shout out question. Who would you like to thank?
Oh, just like in general?
In general, like in your life, who would you like to thank? It doesn't have to be just one person either. So if you feel like you should include more people, feel free.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like definitely my family, my mom, dad, sister, especially my parents too, because like they kind of like raised me and sacrificed a lot for me. So always shout out to them, because I wouldn't be here today without them, of course, and my sister. Probably like my best friends, you know, who've always like been there for me as well. Shout out to them. There's all the homies that are still there. Because definitely like when you get older, it's like hard to like stay in connection with people. So shouts out to everyone for there. My mentors, of course, who like helped me kind of like progress to where I am today and made me like think outside the box as well. But yeah, I mean, because I feel like if I name someone else.
No, yeah. No, I got you. It's good.
Yeah.
And speaking that in that vague general terms as well. Yeah, you don't want to miss anybody. That's always like the worst feeling, especially if you know they meet a lot.
No family is like, you know, like of course.
Yeah. Well, as a follow-up, has there ever been a stranger or an encounter with a stranger in your life that left like the best impression on you? Like it was like, man, that's humanity, or you know, that person was really cool and dope.
See a stranger. Oh, man, I feel like I got a story somewhere. Man, I can't really think of anything right now, but I've definitely been impacted like from random conversations with people too. But yeah, there's just a lot of conversations that like I'd want to shout out, but
it's all good. It might be too many stories sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I'm like trying to look. It's like Netflix trying to like look for the movie and stuff.
Yeah. I've been through. No worries.
Yeah.
Talked about being like a history buff, right? Or would that be a safe assumption?
Yeah. Okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
So I always have trouble with this, and I'm curious to see what your opinion is. Filipinos, are they Pacific Islanders or Asian?
They're Asian. That's no cap. We Pacific Islanders. Oh man, I worked in like a retention program and like at my university too, and it's just like, I mean, there's so much differences in like Pacific Islanders and Asians too, or like, well, not Filipinos, not Asian. But I mean, I get like where people do come from, because there is also like a lot of like similarities too. But I mean, Filipinos are Southeast Asians. I think the reason too, Filipinos and Pacific Islanders are usually like within the same communities of each other, and I feel like there just isn't much as like I mean, there is kind of, especially in California, but there isn't really too much talk about like the cultural differences too. And it's very different with Southeast Asians, because Southeast, like, you know, like Cambodia and like Vietnam, like they were like, you know, like have more their colonizers were like the French, and like ours was the Spanish, so that's why a lot of like differences there already culturally. so like Filipinos just like it's just harder because there isn't another Asian country that kind of like has like the same colonial history. So we're very like usually like, oh, that's why Filipinos are like more on their own rather than like, that whole like the rest of Southeast Asia has more like in common with each other than us. But we do like, share like hella words with like Indonesia and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Selamat and like all that stuff. So there is like that cultural exchange. But Filipinos are just like, they absorb like everything. So like, we were colonized by like three countries and stuff, but we kind of like maintain like some type of like identity. It's rough, but it's not, no cap Southeast Asians.
Got you. I mean, I always used to tell people Filipino is what you get when you mix Southeast Asian with Pacific Islander. That was always my go-to.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of similarities there too. Like, getting along like in like the U.S. At least what I've seen when like Filipinos and like Pacific Islanders like grow up in the same community, it's very like familial and stuff because we do like kind of look like each other sometimes.
Sometimes,
and we'll be like homies with each other. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of like, oh yeah, you basically look like me, so we're basically like the same. But like we grow up too, like we understand like the cultural histories and stuff more deeply. So yeah, it's different.
No, for sure. Well, thank you for your insight. I gotta ask, do you know anything about like Filipino mythology, or like Filipino mythology?
Well, a little bit, like the cool stuff.
Break it down. Like, throw me a little nugget because I'm curious. What's like the Zeus figure or the the Hades figure?
Okay, I'm not too familiar with that, but I know like Bathala was like basically God and stuff.
What was it?
Bathala. Yeah.
For sure.
That was like God, but I think it's like different contexts. Like when the Spanish came, they really Bathala means God. But we had our own mythology before that too.
Yeah.
I know like the monsters.
The monsters?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about like the tree demon or whatever?
Oh, tree demon. I think that's the copper. Like they're the dudes who like smoke in like the trees.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I thought it meant something else, but I can't remember at the moment.
Yeah. I know all songs are like the vampires.
Is that real?
It could be. I don't know.
No. That's the thing about the Philippines too. There's so many islands that I don't think like we've been able to go there and explore everything and find out what's really going on sometimes.
Well, actually, story too. I think I told my parents this, but I remember I was in the Philippines when I was 6, and like there were like, this is one of the only things I remember of the Philippines too, which was like weird during that trip. That like I remember like all the family was just talking outside, and I'm walk alone like outside to like there's like a huge garden area, and then like there's a big ass tree like nearby, and I look up and like there's a dude like smoking, and I was like, what?
Dude, so you saw it, you experienced it.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, what else is real? Like, yeah.
Wow. See, I mean, I'm the kind of person who's still kind of afraid of the dark. If I was in like in a shady place that I don't know, then I'm moving quicker than I would normally be. Like I'm getting out of here. Yeah. And I don't know, man. Have you ever done the Ouija board?
Oh hell no! Hell no! Never. Like I'm not gonna be one of those scary movies, those American scary movies where like they just do some dumb stuff and they die.
So I've done it before.
Oh really?
And yeah, I don't know if my friend told me like I'm a light spirit, so I'm more prone to have these things kind of like follow me around because I'm more susceptible or whatever. Who knows? But all I know is that I move fast in the dark because I feel like something's watching and shit sometimes. But yeah, it's a trip, man. Anyways.
We'll be talking to you. That's crazy.
I actually tell the story in a previous episode about like the whole ordeal. Yeah. It's a trip. It's a trip. I know everybody says that, man. Everybody says like, oh well, all right then, and then
like peace out. Like, all right then, I'm out.
Yeah. I think I did everything respectful though, and yeah, that's all I can take pride in. Is I did it with respect, and I feel like if it's real, then now I know.
Yeah. At least you can say you did it. It's like one of those things.
It's one of those things. Two truths and a lie, you know.
Yeah.
Win that game.
That's the one. Yeah.
Anyways, let's jump into the next number. I guess it's level 3 now.
Okay. I'll go with. I'll go with 23.
What has been the toughest pill for you to swallow? Like a realization about yourself or society?
Oh, that's a hard one. That is a hard one to swallow. I think it's like, so I work in a lot of like social movements since like college and stuff. Fighting for liberation, life is in the air type stuff. I think that one of the hardest pills to swallow too, like, I'm still trying to like learn that like I personally still perpetuate a lot of the same stuff like I'm fighting against at the same time too. And it's coming to terms with like nobody's perfect in this world and we're always continually learning. Like I said earlier, like being able to like love each other in a way that like we all make mistakes and stuff. But also recognizing that holding each other accountable to our actions and stuff in a way that still shows radical love, but at the same time not leaving a slap on the wrist type thing. I think that's the thing too, trying to not like unlearn like a lot of like masculine things that like probably not the healthiest things to like continue later on down the line. And also just like comments and like things I should be calling out more and stuff. So that's my hardest pill to swallow right now.
I got you. Do you mind sharing one of those things where, like you said it earlier in the question about how it's like, I guess maybe changing a stance that you had because of learning more? Was that something you had mentioned?
Yeah, it's like very like, I mean, it goes like if you like were to debate someone who disagrees with you and things. Like for me, like personally too, I think about, well, I relate this to like Kendrick Lamar's song Blacker the Berry, because he's very looked at as like a prophet and stuff, but he himself has things that he's not proud of doing and stuff, and he's continually learning. So being able to like recognize our own faults, one of the things that I personally like struggle with growing up is like with criticism, and taking that more as like from a grain of salt, but also like seeing like why this hurts me, because like it comes from like a pain or like a place of pain in someone or in myself, that it may like be also addressing me, but also taking like as like all facts to like considered, to see like if it's like I should act on it or not. Yeah, therapy works.
It does.
Yeah, so highly suggest, again, like big advocate of mental health.
Same here, man. I mean, I don't know if you ever did it as a kid, but I was in it for a while. Just the free version from school, but yeah, even that was very helpful for me at the time. And
I was in therapy like that time too. I know I needed it when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, it was I fell into it because I had written some rhymes that were pretty dark, and I went to Catholic school, and my teacher, who was a nun, was like, "Oh, you gonna go to therapy after this?" And so that's how my journey with it started, and I'm like, you know what, I like this. So high school, I looked for it. College, I looked for it, and it was always provided. But now, since it's a little more of a paycheck, I haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. I mean, sometimes like, another mental health resource too is like to see if like there's a local university by you that has like people in their graduate programs that are offering like free like counseling and stuff. Sometimes that's available too, but that's just like a hack right there. You get some free community therapy and stuff.
That's dope. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I mean, I guess now it's just video calls, but I'll see what's up with it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that tip. All right, man. We've made it to the concluding portion of the podcast. We have about 10 minutes left. I just want to say thank you again for coming on. Thank you for being so open. I think you had some very quality answers, and just appreciate that openness, man.
Yeah, it's dope. And, like, thanks for having me. It's an honor to like just be able to like talk to you and stuff. Like, whenever I like I chop it up for people to be able to like get to know people's stories and stuff. And I think that's always important because like all of our stories hold like the greatest value in the world.
I think so too, man. And I've missed getting to know people because of quarantining and not being around and not being able to chop it up. But yeah, all our stories, and now like the more I can kind of get people on to tell, I feel like the bigger the weight of it is. Like it's gonna be pretty dope at the end of it all.
yeah, like like we listen to podcasts to just be able to like share each other's stories and hear from each other too. So it's just always dope to be able to talk to new people and stuff. So yeah.
So this next question for you is actually from my previous guest. It's more lighthearted. If you could eat only one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh,
yeah, you said you were a foodie, so.
Yeah, I'll give you a foodie. Man, if I could eat one thing, can it be like a plate, or has it be like one?
So the way this person answered it was they said sushi. So I guess they were just thinking in their mind like only one thing, not a plate.
Ah, shit. Dang, I have to like think of somewhere that encompasses like all the food groups.
That's why their choice was sushi. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Man, what was it? Filipino thing that has all the food groups. Yeah. A sandwich?
A sandwich? I mean,
very diverse. You can make different types of sandwiches. Is that cheating?
No, that fucking works, yo. I mean, my personal choice is burritos, just because you can make all kinds of burritos as well. Same idea with sandwiches.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more portable in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like less like mess.
My second question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest?
Dang. I'm gonna hit him with a deep one right now.
Oh, go for it, man. I know the last guest made it easy, so.
If you could go in the future and tell your great-grandchild something, what would you tell them?
Ooh, this is a perfect segue to the next question. If you could go into the future to tell your grandchild something?
Yeah. What would you tell them?
All right. What would you tell them? All right, that's a good question right there. So, this last question for you before we end our episode is, what would you like your descendants to know about you?
Oh, man. I mean, I think just my story, like, I think understanding, like, I was just a man, like a dude, a person living through life that, like, my story offers some type of wisdom to them too. So if I were to leave any legacy, just like my stories and being able to pass down, like, also like my parents' stories as well, my grandparents' stories as well. I think I'm trying to make it a point as I grow older to like learn them more intentionally, because it's like nobody else. Like, I think that's our form of existence. Kind of like, what's it called? Coco?
Yeah, no, exactly like Coco.
I think it's important to just be able to like share that expression of love through family by like learning our stories, and trying to take wisdom from it so we don't have to make the same mistakes like down the line too. Yeah.
No doubt, man. That was a great answer. Yeah, just like Coco, this is what it's all kind of about, is having our the memory of us, and like, hopefully, your descendants get to see this someday, and they're like, okay, now I know where the perspective was coming from my ancestor, and I think they're gonna be like their descendants, or like we're like our ancestors, so they're gonna be like us, I think. And when they see this, they're gonna be like, oh shit, they're just like me. So yeah,
that's crazy. That's great, Grandpa. That's crazy.
yeah. Cause I guess I didn't even trip off, like, for Filipinos, it's even crazier since a lot of our history was kind of destroyed or like buried, and so I guess we're starting anew with something like this where they can get to know us through a video instead of just like scripts and whatnot. But
yeah, that's a dope concept actually, because it's like, like video like is only within like the last century. It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes, man. Just want to thank you again for coming on. Thank you to the folks checking out the episode. Appreciate y'all too. Did you have anything else to add before we bounce?
No, it was good. It was an honor to be here. Thanks for having me. And also just thanks for like shouting out like a knock too. That's another thing. And like all the blessings and good energy to the podcast as well. I was like, I think it was a good platform to be able to like just express ideas and stuff and be able to chop it up with folks. And anytime to chop it up with like new folks is always a good time.
No doubt. And you brought it as well. So mad love. Still trying to figure out my signature.